What's up, everybody? Happy December. We are here in my hometown of Smyrna. I'll let you in on a little secret. Most Christian artists, when they say that they live in Nashville, they actually don't live in Nashville. They live outside of Nashville like I do. Now, a lot of people live in Spring Hill or Franklin or Antioch, but when we say we are going to work and live in Nashville, we really mean outside of the city in towns such as Smyrna. And when we say we're going to go work in Nashville, really most of the Christian music industry is in Franklin and Spring Hill. But don't let me pop your bubble. There you go. You know, there's your little secret for the day, your little Christmas present from TEMITOPE. This month, I've been thinking a lot about just what this month is. It's the holiday season. Thanksgiving just passed, and I am, of course, I'm very thankful for you. I'm thankful for my wife and my kids. I'm thankful for Ben and for Nick, all the people that are part of my team, Carrie. We're about to be into the Christmas season, and the Christmas season, it's all about the birth of Jesus Emmanuel. And if you are like me, if you grew up in the church, you're going to be familiar with a passage in Isaiah 7, which I'm going to read to you. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14. We hear this quoted a lot during this time of year. I want to read it to you. This is what it says. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So in context with this verse, this is actually the prophet Isaiah talking to King Ahaz, who was the king of Judah. Israel was split up at this time. The rest of the tribes of Israel and Judah were separate. And the other side of Israel and another king, the king of Syria, were actually going to attack the tribe of Judah. They were attacking the city of Jerusalem. And they were attacking it, trying to overtake it, but it would never be overtaken. It was holding. And so the prophet Isaiah is going to King Ahaz, and he's saying, hey, God's promise is that the city will not fall. And as a sign of that promise, Isaiah 7:14, the virgin and will give birth to a son named Emmanuel. So that baby was a sign that God was gonna never leave or forsake his people. And that truth still applies to us today. We celebrate during this season the birth of a baby, the birth of a king. But unlike the kings of that time, this king was going to be king over every nation, right? You had King of Syria, the king of Israel, attacking the king of Judah, 3 different kings attacking and fighting over power and control and dominion. Well, Jesus is the name that is above every name, over all authority, over all powers and all dominion. But he didn't come with a chariot and an army to overtake us with power. He came humbly to serve. He came as a baby. He came so that we would have a savior, a God who would empathize with our weaknesses. He went through everything that we went through so that we could have a savior that could empathize with our weaknesses. So that's who our Jesus is. That's who we celebrate during this season. Isaiah chapter 49, it talks about there being a light that shines and brings salvation to the nations. Well, that light comes from Jesus. Jesus is the light of the nations and king over all of the nations. And so when he came as this baby to be born here, to be exactly what we needed, he, through his reign and through his birth, not only drew the nations to himself, but also offers salvation to the nations. So in light of that, let's remember this Christmas season and every season beyond this baby, this newborn king, king of all the nations, for all the nations, over every nation, who brings salvation to the nations, that is the Jesus who we have today. And with Jesus in us, we have the mandate and the responsibility to share his story and to share the salvation that comes through him with the nations. There's not a Jesus for just black people, or Jesus just for white people, or Jesus just for North Americans, or Jesus just for Asians. Jesus is one Jesus, one name that's above every name, one name that draws the nations together, and that's who we celebrate, serve, and rejoice and worship this season. I have a song coming out that actually shares that same message. It's a song I've previously released with my friends that worship together called King of All the Nations, and we just redid it. It's called King of All the Nations. It's going to be 7 new versions in 4 different languages, and what I love about that is, as you know, my heart has always been for the nations. I believe that God is a multicultural God. When we stand together with our differences versus against each other because of our differences, we see his beautiful heart on display and can experience heaven on earth. So it's so cool that this song, King of All the Nations, is now translated into 4 different languages. And I actually just had an opportunity to be a part of a conference called ICOM in Rep Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, where missionaries and people from all over the nations came and gathered in Lexington to celebrate how God's moving around the nation. So I'm so excited that now we're going to have new versions to help equip those churches to continue singing it and celebrating who our God is all throughout the year. So be looking out for that. King of All the Nations World Versions comes out December 13th. Thanks for watching this. If this message encouraged you or you're excited about King of All the Nations, can I ask you to do something very simple? Can I ask you to share this video on social media or share it with someone that you know somehow so they can hear about what God is doing in the music that we're making together, that you're supporting and that I'm creating. When it comes out, make sure to listen to it. Make sure to listen to the songs. Make sure to engage with me on social media. All of those things are really, really helpful. And of course, above all of those things, your prayers are the fuel that makes this engine go. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for being a part of what I'm doing. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in January.